Hi guys, it's Charla from That Girl Cooks Healthy. Today I'm gonna show you how to make this delicious brown stew chicken in your slow cooker. I cannot wait to show you this one. You're gonna love it. It's delicious, tasty, and let's get to it. So these are the ingredients that you are going to need. I have some chicken thighs. The chicken thighs that I'm using are boneless and skinless chicken thighs, and I've also removed the fat as well. I have some hot water. I have some browning. The browning that I'm using is my homemade version, but I will leave the link to it in the description box. Some olive oil, some all-purpose seasoning. Again, it's homemade as well, and the link will be in the description box for the actual recipe. Some black pepper, some garlic granules, onion granules. I'm using organic raw cane sugar, but you can also use coconut sugar as well, especially if you're diabetic. Some bell peppers, some tomato paste, hot sauce, scallion, onion, ginger, garlic, pimento berries, and I'm also using some as well. So I've already washed my chicken. So now that the chicken is washed and ready to go, I'm just going to start off by adding all of my dry seasoning to my chicken thighs. So I'm adding my onion, my garlic granules, and my brown sugar. As I said, you can use coconut sugar as well if you want to. You just want to make sure the sugar is dark. Then I have my all-purpose seasoning and my black pepper that goes in there as well. And I'm just going to mix that up and make sure that all of the chicken pieces are nicely coated and that seasoning is really distributed and even. So now I'm going to add my browning, and as I said, this is a homemade version of browning, so it's not really bitter and it also isn't as dark as the one you get in the stores. So I'm using quite a bit of that, and I also add it in 2 stages. I add it at the beginning with the meat, and I also add it as well when I am browning the meat. And as I go along with the recipe, you will see that I do add some more. So now that I've seasoned that, I'm just going to add, as you can see, I'm just adding a bit more of the browning as well, because as I just said, it's not as strong as what you get in the stores, but it still is really effective and you will get the same results. So now that I've seasoned the chicken, I'm just going to leave it to marinate overnight, or you can leave it for several hours, whichever you're comfortable with, but you really just want to leave that now so that the flavor really infuses the chicken, and to me that's something that I do recommend people do. So now it's time to brown the chicken. So I'm just going to start off by heating up my pan. I'm actually using the base of my slow cooker because I have a 2-in-1 slow cooker, so I don't need to use a skillet or a frying pan. So I'm just adding some olive oil to that, and then once I've added the olive oil, I'm then going to add my onion, my garlic, and my ginger, and I'm gonna saute that until it becomes soft and translucent, and that will take a few minutes to achieve the soft and the translucent look that we are looking for. I'm just going to add my chicken thighs to my unit. You can do this in batches if you want to, but my unit is actually quite big. I don't know if it looks big from the camera, but it is quite a big unit, so I can add all of the chicken that I'm using and I can just sear that, and it's gonna take about 15 minutes or so to sear the meat. It really does take some time, and during that time you will notice as well that the chicken will start to produce its own juices. This is perfectly normal, and in fact we need the chicken to produce its own juices as well, because this is going to help with browning the meat, but you will need to cook off the excess juice that it produces, and you'll see as I go along that I will do that, and I will show you when I am to that at that stage where I have the excess juices and I need to, you know, really cook it off. So this is what the chicken looks like now, and as you can see it's produced quite a lot of liquid, and we really want to increase the heat now to just reduce that and to also brown the meat. So this is what the chicken looks like now. As you can see, it's nicely browned and that excess juice that you saw earlier has gone. There's only a small amount left, and this is what you really want. As you can see the difference now that the chicken is really browned now, because we've cooked off the excess of the juices and it's nice and brown the way we really want it. So I've just added my unit to my actual slow cooker now, so I'm going to continue with the cooking process. So I'm just adding my tomato paste and my hot sauce, and the amount of hot sauce you use depends on how hot you want your stewed chicken. I like mine mild, so I don't really add too much, but you can add more. So I'm adding a bundle of thyme. As you can see, I've tied it together to make it easier to take it out, and I've added my pimento berries as well. As I said before, guys, because I'm using a 2-in-1, I already did everything on the stove top, but you would transfer everything over to your slow cooker now when you're doing all of this now. So I'm just adding some hot water as well, and I put that in the bowl that I had the chicken in to get some of the excess juices from earlier, and I added that to the slow cooker. And I'm also adding a little bit more extra browning as well. As I said, because I'm using a homemade one, I can afford to add a bit more than what you would normally use if you're using, you know, the other one, because it can make your food bitter if you add too much. And I'm gonna leave this now to slow cook for 4 hours, and I'm going to add the bell peppers at the end. So this is different from how you traditionally make brown stew chicken. So this is what my brown stew chicken looks like after about 3 hours of slow cooking it. Now I'm going to add my bell peppers, and I add them at the end because I don't really want them to be too soft, but I also don't want them to be too firm. So you can add them at the beginning, or you can add them when I'm adding them now. It's whatever you're comfortable with, and you just want to just tuck that in a bit and, you know, push them down just to make sure that the sauce, you know, covers it and it cooks through. And just leave that now for about another hour to completely cook through. So this is what the brown stew chicken looks like now that it is ready after 4 hours. It looks really nice and brown, and it's tender and it's juicy and it smells so nice. So I'm going to remove the thyme stems because I don't need them anymore, and I'm just going to add some salt. And I've made this recipe so many times, I know how much of everything I need. I'm not adding too much salt because I already had salt in the homemade all-purpose seasoning that I use, but you can add pepper. You know, do a taste test and, you know, make sure that it tastes the way that you want it, guys, because you are eating it at the end of the day, so you want it to taste good and make sure it's well seasoned, right? So to me, mine is good to go. As I said, I make it all the time, so I know exactly what I put in it, and this is ready now to serve. So this is the Jamaican Brown Stew Chicken slow cooker method. This is a non-traditional way of making it, so I need to put that disclaimer out that this is a modern way of making it. It's not the traditional way. I hope you do enjoy it anyway. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching this video.